It was a quiet Tuesday morning when the bulldozer roared to life, its engine snarling like a beast unleashed. The tires chewed up the gravel path, spitting dust into the air as it barreled toward the Meadowview Community Centera squat, tin building with a sign that read Meadowview Property Office. I stood there, heart pounding, waving my arms like a madman. Stop. For heaven's sake, stop. But the machine didn't care. With a sickening crunch, it plowed into the building. Wood splintered. Glass shattered into 1,000 glittering shards. The roof crumpled like paper. People screamed. Someone was filming on their phone. Mrs. Evelyn Carter, the HOA president with a voice like gravel and a heart colder than a Nebraska winter, stood frozen, her violation notice still clutched in her manicured hand. She didn't see it coming. Nobody did. I wasn't driving that bulldozer, but I wondered why it happened. It all started with my gate. A gate painted red. Yes, just red. How does a red gate lead to a building in ruins and a neighborhood in chaos? Let me take you back to the beginning. My name's Tom Bradley, and I own a 5-acre farm just outside Springfield, Missouri. I'm a widower, pushing 55, who spent my life fixing things: tractors, fences, sometimes even broken spirits. After my wife, Ellen, passed 3 years ago, it was just me, my dog Rusty, and the land. I found peace in the quiet of my fields, tending to my garden, repairing the barn. Last spring, I decided to repaint the old farm gate. It was rusted, peeling, and an eyesore. I chose a deep, vibrant red, the color of Ellen's favorite scarf, warm and alive. I never imagined that paint would spark a war. The first warning came in a crisp white envelope. The gate color violates Meadowview HOA aesthetic guidelines. Approved colors: natural wood, black, sage green. Repaint within 7 days or face fines. I laughed and tossed it in the trash. My farm wasn't part of Meadowview. Their cookie-cutter homes were half a mile down the road, behind a fancy wrought iron fence. My land was mine, free and clear, since my grandfather's day. But the HOA didn't care. Evelyn Carter showed up next, clipboard in hand, lipstick as sharp as a blade. "This is official HOA business," she snapped before I could say hello. I leaned against the porch rail. "This is an HOA land, ma'am." She smirked. "Our jurisdiction expanded. Your property's under our new charter. Page 8. All exterior aesthetics must comply." I pointed at the gate. "You mean my red gate?" She clicked her pen. "It's disruptive. Repaint, or you'll be fined daily." I looked out at my fields, cows grazing, Rusty chasing a butterfly. "There's no neighborhood here," I said. She didn't blink. "You'll see." I didn't repaint. Instead, I polished the gate, making it shine. More letters arrived, stacking up like firewood. Then came the surveillance. A guy in a yellow vest measured my fence line. A drone buzzed over my barn. "HOA compliance officer," he said when I confronted him. "You're trespassing," I growled. He left, but the drone didn't. Then a neon orange sticker appeared on my gate. "Code violation, subject to removal." That was it. I drove to the HOA office, but it was locked. A sign read "Open Tuesdays and Thursdays, 10 to 2. So, I waited. Next Tuesday, I will park my truck outside at 9:50 a.m. Evelyn arrived, sighing when she saw me. "You can't find people into submission," I said. She smiled like ice. "Your gate's the problem. Fix it, or the consequences continue." That's when I got an idea, not revenge, but defiance. I repainted the gate a brighter red and carved Ellen's initials into the wood. The next day, everything changed. Rusty's barking woke me at dawn. My phone buzzed with texts. "Turn on the news." I ran outside and heard the engine, a massive yellow bulldozer charging toward the HOA office. Evelyn was there, screaming. Before anyone could stop it, it crashed. The building collapsed. The driver stepped out, Jim Larson, my old army buddy, a grizzled mechanic who kept to himself. "Jim," I said, stunned. He wiped his brow. Figured they needed a real violation to write about. Evelyn stormed over. "You're going to jail." Jim shrugged. "I know what I did. You don't get to bully a man over paint." Police arrived, cuffed him, and took him away. The crowd was silent, but I felt a storm inside: guilt, gratitude, and a spark of rebellion. Jim and I served together in the 90s. After Ellen died, he'd stop by with casseroles, fix my truck, and listen to my rants about the HOA. He'd squint and say, "That red gate ain't hurting nobody." I didn't know he'd been planning this. The news vans came. Neighbors gossiped. I sat on my porch, torn. That building had tormented folks like me. Mrs. Clara got fined for tall daisies. A single mom, Maria, paid $400 for a tire mark on her lawn. Now the HOA office was rubble, and I wasn't sorry. Then Sarah, Jim's niece, showed up. Uncle Jim told me everything, she said. He did this for you. You're family to him. She handed me a note in Jim's scrawl. Bullies don't stop unless you make 'em. That gates your heart. If this gets him off your back, I'll do my time proud. P.S. Feed Rusty. I read it twice, whispering, you old fool. 2 days later, a county inspector confirmed my land was never under HOA control. The fines? Void. I laughed until my sides hurt. Evelyn wasn't done, though. She returned, pale and furious. We've petitioned the county to include your property retroactively. You won't win. I leaned against my gate. You've already lost. That night, I heard a rumble. A construction crew was digging a trench on my land, next to a sign, Future Meadowview Welcome Arch, Mandatory Entry Point. They were claiming my property. I snapped a photo of their permit and called my lawyer, Mike, a former rodeo clown with a knack for land disputes. He grinned. This permit's fake. They didn't file with the county. We sent cease and desist letters, but the war escalated. The next day, residents gathered at the trench. A woman and a son, Rachel, introduced herself. We're done with Evelyn. She fined my son for a blue mailbox. Others chimed in fines for whimsical lawn ornaments, uneven shrubs. We want to help, Rachel said. I was floored. I'd been alone so long, I forgot what allies felt like. We planned to stand. Mike filed for a restraining order. I posted a video online. This is my land. They're trying to take it over a red gate. If you've been bullied by an HOA, join me tomorrow, 9 a.m. I expected a few folks. By morning, my field was packed old men in lawn chairs, kids with signs, a guy grilling burgers. Sarah wore a shirt, red gate, big heart. At 9:05, Evelyn arrived with HOA board members and a lawyer. You're trespassing, she barked. Mike stepped forward with documents. This is a cease and desist and a lawsuit for harassment. You have no jurisdiction. The sheriff arrived, reviewed the papers, and ordered the crew to stop. The crowd cheered. Evelyn glared at my gate like it had one. 3 days later, the gate was gone. Burned ash in the night, reeking of gasoline. Rusty whined. Sarah pulled up, horrified. Was it her? She asked. I don't know, I said. But we rebuilt. By noon, 100 people showed up with lumber, paint, and resolve. We built a stronger gate, added an arch with stars, and hung a banner, Jim's Gate. Evelyn appeared, fuming. This is illegal. I tore her cease and desist in half. Touch this gate, and you'll see what happens. The crowd roared. She left, but her assistant, Lisa, lingered, recording us. You'll regret this, she muttered. Mike dropped a bombshell that night. Evelyn is working with developers to condemn your land as non-conforming. They want to force a sale. My stomach sank. The fines, the trench, the fire, it was a setup to steal my farm. We held a town hall in my field. Residents shared horror stories, fines for rustic fences, banned solar panels. I told them, tomorrow, Evelyn's coming to tear this gate down. Stand with me. They didn't flinch. At dawn, she arrived with SUVs, workers, and a bulldozer. We formed a human chain. Sarah, Rachel, dozens more. Evelyn sneered, clear it. The bulldozer rolled, then sputtered and died. Sugar in the tank, a mechanic said. Evelyn screamed, sabotage. Then Jim appeared, fresh from bail, driving his bulldozer. He smashed the HOA's new arch to splinters. Evelyn fainted. The crowd gasped. A bus pulled up, spilling out developers from Meadowview Commercial Plaza. Evelyn claimed my land was approved for it. Mike waved his documents. This land's never been theirs. A land auditor stepped forward. The filings are fraudulent. This project's illegal. The investors bailed. Evelyn fled, tires screeching. 2 days later, Mike warned. Evelyn filed an injunction, claiming your gate's a nuisance. We gathered testimonies, every fine, every threat. At the hearing, the courtroom was packed. Mike laid out the harassment. Jim testified. I acted alone. Sarah revealed wildlife camera footage. Lisa, Evelyn's assistant, burning the gate. The judge dismissed the case, banned the HOA from my land, and ordered an investigation. We cheered. That night, the HOA voted to dissolve. Evelyn's final no was drowned out. The HOA was dead. Weeks later, a trench dig unearthed a 1924 safe with gold coins and deeds proving my land was a historical reserve. The county protected it, and Evelyn vanished some say to Arizona. I got a grant to build a museum by the gate. Jim restored historical sites. Sarah started a blog, Redgate Stories. Rusty got a plaque, Rusty the Loyal. One morning, a package arrived, a tiny red gate model and a note. I was wrong. I'm sorry, Evelyn. I set it on the mantle, feeling only peace. The gate still stands, glowing red at sunset. Neighbors wave. Kids race by. The safes in my barn turn museum, open Saturdays with free coffee. This fight wasn't just about a gate. It was about standing up when someone tries to paint over your life. What do you think? Did Jim go too far? Should I have compromised? Share your thoughts below, especially on fighting injustice or when violence crosses a line. Your voice matters.